Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 28 of Rapid Unscheduled Discussion. I am your host, Seth Kurkowski. With me, as always, is our favorite friend from the land of crawfish, Daryl
Yes,
Sausse.
yes, I will take that. I will take that.
Is that somewhat of a compliment this time? Is that actually not an insult for once?
I mean, now I've got a craving for crawfish and they're out of season, but sure, I'll take it. Hey, everybody, I'm Daryl Sausse. Joining us tonight. Really excited to have him on tonight. He's a member of the Cocoa Beach Chamber of Commerce and the chair of Citizens for Space Exploration. The wonderful, the talented, I totally forgot the thing Seth was saying about
The
Barry
legendary?
Bonzack. Legendary, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Barry Bonzack. Barry, thank you for joining us tonight.
I cannot wait to talk to you guys. I'm a big fan and I'm looking forward to it, so appreciate you having me on.
Oh, cool. We appreciate you being here.
So, yeah, Barry, how's it going? How's your week been?
Oh, week's been good so far. Survived a hurricane. You know, my potted plant fell over outside. I will rebuild. But other than that, it's been a great weekend.
So wait, in Florida, whenever there's like a minor tropical storm or something like that comes through and it affects really nobody, do the memes go around of like one flipped over lawn chair and it says like tropical storm, whatever, never forget? Y'all do the same thing now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Same thing.
Okay.
I knew it wasn't going to be a big deal when I went to Publix on Saturday. I'm like, I want some something, because tomorrow's going to be a rainy day. I'm going to be stuck inside. I need some snacks. And there was no hurricane cakes. And I'm like, nope, this is not going to be a big deal then if there's no hurricane cakes. So.
This is how big of a nerd I am. I play Pokemon Go with my friends. It was windy weather outside during Dragon Week, so everything's weather boosted. Had to go out.
Man,
I haven't played Pokemon Go in forever.
That's cool. You're still holding on. That's cool. You're still hanging on.
Last time I played Pokemon Go, I got stopped by a cop because I was parked in a church parking lot on accident. So,
oh no!
Yeah, I didn't know the church parking lot. I just knew it was a gym, and I needed to get trained up my Pokemon or something. And all of a sudden, I had red and blue lights in the back. I'm like, oh, United Methodist Church. Oh, I'm so dumb.
At least I can still tell people I go to the gym every day. I don't go to the gym. I'm naturally like this.
No, wait, Barry, did you ever play the precursor to Pokemon Go?
I did, Ingress.
Yeah. I gave that a shot. That was a little over my head at the time. Plus, I love the aspect of it though, that it like gets you out and exploring and your real world. I got a buddy of mine here home, Scratch. He is big into it. Post about it. He will travel far and wide to play that game. He's like made big traveling trips. I was really intrigued by the game. I just never put in the time into it like I should have. But it was a really cool concept. I love the way it worked out. It was awesome.
Agreed. It's cool to see technology integrated with the real world.
Yeah.
So of course, big news this last week. Of course, we had DM2 return yesterday off the coast of Pensacola, and we had, of course, the long-awaited Mars 2020 Perseverance Ingenuity launch last Thursday. Barry, you got to go. I'm assuming you were talking about your apartment. You get to see the VAB, so obviously you got to see.
Yeah, I was actually at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex, so you guys were closer than I was for that one. But that's okay. It was a beautiful launch, beautiful morning.
Oh, yeah. It was. I'm surprised. It was like I'm out there. It's a 2-hour window. I only packed one set of clothes because I'm like I watched The Last Dance the week before, and so in my head I was like the point where Michael Jordan talks to his team about only bringing one suit to like I was at the '98 championship. Like I'm only packing one suit, so we're gonna win this first game. Otherwise, we're gonna have to go buy new suits. And so I only packed one set of clothes. Like it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, and 10 milliseconds early it launches, bang on in the middle of the start of the window, and I was ULA nailed it.
Or didn't they say they launched like 10 milliseconds earlier? Something ridiculous like that.
The countdown thing, they said like 10 milliseconds earlier. I'm like, of course it would be early.
Yeah.
Of course they throw out a statistic like that too. Like, oh man, that's it. That's the end of the world. We were 10 milliseconds early on the launch.
Yeah, that was a beautiful launch. I'm super excited. Apparently the spacecraft's all healthy. Mm-hmm. They're going through tests with it currently. So, yeah, can't wait till in February 18th when that lands. I'll be having another mini heart attack for 7 minutes. But
Yeah.
We all will.
But man, this is just awesome because people were just a species on one planet that figured out how to assemble something across an entire country, put it on a big thing that uses explosives to get it to escape velocity to the Earth, to get it to the exact trajectory to be able to land, to go explore an entire other world that will eventually lead the way for future humans to go from this planet to that planet to explore over there. And it's just amazing to think about something that was built here roving around there on nuclear power.
yeah,
Yes.
I couldn't put it any better myself. That was yeah, the emotions that went through like just for that. So I got to interview someone who worked on Ingenuity like the week before, and I can't imagine how excited they are that they're going. They get to do this thing. Like it's always been like yeah, we're gonna do it one day, but right now we got to build it. And all of a sudden now like, oh, we're doing it. Like it's actually happening.
Man. And you know, you think we were excited for the launch and everything like that. Imagine the people actually working on it, physically building it and whatnot. I swear, with launch and the EDL phase, they have to age at least 10 years. they have to age by at least 10 years. It's but we're all pulling for them. We hope it all goes great. Not just Perseverance, but you know, this Mars season saw 3 for 3 successful launches.
Yep.
It started with the UAE's Hope probe. They're just doing an orbiter. China is doing Tianwen-1, and wow, that
wow. Wow, I'm so happy you said that because I would have never come close to that one.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I've practiced it a few times.
Not good.
They're doing the full package. They're doing orbiter, lander, and rover. And here we are again. And yeah, it's great that they decided to do basically a tried and true method. You know, they're doing another rover built with spare parts from the last one, just upgraded, you know, internals, upgraded science and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, use what you got and use what works. That's great, you know.
And then of course the helicopter, like
yeah,
I can't wait to see
gonna be
that thing
cool.
fly. That thing's gonna
No
be great.
kidding. Just even the way that thing like is deployed is amazing. Like
Yeah.
it sits up underneath, and then like the arm comes out, and then
Flips
doesn't
out.
rotate, and then yeah,
Yep.
it lays it down, and then the rover drives away.
Yep.
It's just the engineering of every little piece of that rover is amazing.
Oh yeah, it is.
So Barry, yeah, you're a part of two big organizations in the STEM advocacy outreach type of community, Citizens for Space Explorations, as well as FIRST Robotics. So
Yes.
first, let's start with FIRST.
Okay,
Hey.
we'll go STEM education first off. All right.
I like that
And then-
one. That was funny.
Yeah, so
All right.
that'll give, after we're done with our weekly updates of all the space news, then we can go into both STEM education and advocacy. And I'm
Yes.
hoping to tell your audience about how a space enthusiast such as yourself watching is able to get involved with the actual talking to Congress, me talking to your representative, and supporting the space program and trying to convince them to value the same thing that you for yourself watching values.
So with FIRST Robotics, for people who don't know anything about it, like what is it?
Okay, FIRST Robotics competition for inspiration and recognition of science and technology. It takes students and puts them on robotics teams all across the world and pairs them up with industry mentors to have a build season to build a robot, get it sent to a competition, the programming, and then at the event, they're paired up in a sport-like atmosphere where you have stands with teams in it, different colors, uniforms, cheering on like it's a football team, and try to bring the drama of sports to science and engineering. So it's not quite like a science fair or any other type of event that you've ever seen before if you haven't ever been to a FIRST event before, but there's music blaring, lights flashing, and they are picking up balls, shooting them to hoops. The game changes every year, so we don't even know what to expect for the next season. And this is going to be really weird because of COVID concerns. So really don't know what to expect this season.
So it's like a full-on party at one of these things.
Absolutely. So I serve at the events. I serve as the game announcer and master of ceremonies for events. So I do the play-by-play. The biggest one locally here at in Florida, we have 2 big regionals for the FIRST Robotics competition. One's in South Florida at the Palm Beach Convention Center. In Central Florida, we have it inside the UCF arena. So if you guys have ever been to UCF, there's 2 arenas side by side. We take up both. The World Championship is in Houston and in Detroit inside the convention centers.
Yes, those are quite big because I went to college down the road at Full Sail, which I've driven around UCF quite often, finding places to party. But driving past, those two arenas, they're big. They're not small arenas, so that's crazy. You guys take up both of them, and I actually didn't know you guys did one down in Palm Beach.
We do.
So
We do.
I'm not that far away.
All right, you're gonna come. I'll send you the invite.
Yes, I would not mind that at all.
Free and open to the public. Anybody can come.
Nice.
So people, so it's a robotics thing. When I grew up, my school had a Lego robotics league.
That's the same thing.
Yeah, and it was only for 8th graders, 7th and 8th graders, because I guess they seemed it was too complex. But is that the case for FIRST?
No, well, you probably were on a FIRST Lego League team, and you had a school decision to make it for 7th and 8th graders. But FIRST Lego League goes all the way down to, goodness sakes, I think 2nd grade, and then even below that we have something called FIRST Lego. They just changed the name. It used to be called FIRST Lego League Junior. Now they call it Discovery, and that is for even earlier than that, for very early training kids on the very basics of science, technology, and very basics of robotics. And FIRST Lego League, man, those kids are energetic. You want to go see some energy, go to see elementary, middle school students playing with their robots. There's some energy in that room.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We have to have a dance party. The Cotton Eye Joe them to wear out, man.
Oh, that's very smart. That's a smart idea. Yeah, wear them out before they do that, so they can focus. I used to volunteer for vacation Bible school at my church, and like they're all little kids, and it's just like after 5 days of that, you're just like, just decompress, just soothing, slow music. No one screaming. Don't have to take food out of their noses for some reason. Yeah.
Man.
I totally can feel the stress of small children. But
it's awesome when you go to those events. Okay, the difference between a FIRST Lego League event and working in an industry, let's say space sector or aerospace or so on and so forth, the diversity. It is across the board diversity at these FIRST Lego League students. Any standardized test that you've ever seen, ever taken, girls and boys are not significantly different scores in math either direction. It's maybe case by school or state sometimes, but overall across the board, girls and boys had the same scores in science and math. So why is it that we don't have as many go into STEM education majors? And that is what we're trying to push, is that this is fun. This is something you can do, and you need role models to tell you, 1, it exists, and 2, you should do it.
So they overcome different challenges. They build robots for that. What type of challenges do they have to do? Like their games that they play, like competitive games, stuff like that.
Sticking with FIRST Lego League, sure.
Yes.
The robots sit down on a table, and in front of them on this table are missions, and the missions are themed every year. In fact, I was on the planning challenge advisory team a couple years ago for the 2019 game when they had a space-themed game.
Nice.
And it's actually changes. The theme changes every year. So they've had environment, they've had recycling, they've had helping the elderly, they had humans working with allies as a theme. And power has all been different types of themes for games. And then the challenges on the field are real-world problems that we're currently trying to solve. So there's a model on the field where the robot has to drive up to it and push something or pull something or bring one piece to another piece or bring something back to base. And the Lego group has just amazing engineers in Denmark that design these elaborate tables of missions, and it's just super cool to watch.
Wow.
Oh yeah. I've seen videos of it. And it's intense. It's very intense to watch, and I've always wanted to go see one. And no, that would be great to watch.
And the great thing about that, it's really easy to start a team. So if anyone watching has students elementary, middle school, and you're going, man, that sounds fun. I'd like to do that. Well, hop on www.firstinspires.org, click First Lego League, go to start a team. What you really need is your kid and like 3-4 of your kid's friends, and pull the money together from the other parents and just start your own team. If your school doesn't have one, it doesn't have to be a part of school. It can be run out of a house. I mean, we're talking about a Lego robot this big run on a table. It really can be done in a garage easily. And if you had 5 parents all supporting it, chipping in together, it cost about the same as the gear you would need to play a sport like any of the other common sports that need cleats and jerseys and uniforms and practice balls, bats, whatever equipment. It'd be about the same price.
The one thing I love
pushing
about
my niece into this.
Good.
I'm getting her into it.
Are you
Wait,
gonna
she's
live
already
with your niece and have your niece do it, so you can be like, I like doing this. It's fun.
Well, I already love the hell out of her. She's incredibly smart. She's got 2 parents who are incredibly smart. One is weatherman in the Air Force, like high up there weatherman too. And the other one is electrical engineer for HP, like master's degree in it and everything, like super smart. I call my sister-in-law all the time whenever I need help with like any kind of electrical stuff. When I had to study, basic electricity to get a job with the phone company a long time ago, I was calling her. I'm like, can you explain this to me a different way and help me understand it? Like, it's all like first semester stuff for her. It's insane, like super smart. And I got it down pat. I talked to her about other stuff. One day I want to pick her brain, see if she ever like researched the Apollo computer or something like that, how it works, how it's made, things like that. I need to add that to the list too.
Well, good news for you. I know some first people in both Mississippi and New Orleans, and in Louisiana, New Orleans, and in Mississippi. So I would happily get you connected.
Oh, well, actually, they live in Houston.
Oh, well, that's easy then.
Yeah,
oh, man,
that's easy.
That's where the World Championship is. Yeah,
exactly.
That's easy.
Exactly. No, I'd probably go watch it out there and say, hey, y'all come with me and, see if I can get her hooked. Try to reel her into the space stuff. And I think she's going to go down the STEM road at some point. Just trying to.
At least this would give her
her
or any other student like her the opportunity to try it out and see how excited she is about it. And you know what? I went through it. I'm an alumni of the program. I was in it for my junior and senior years. I was the business leader of the team. I did the fundraising. I did the marketing for the team. I did recruitment to get other of my friends to come do this robot thing with me. I did the judging award submissions, and I had to write essays. So I also learned quite a bit about building a robot. But what I learned was I was better at the business side of things. And because of that, I decided to go into finance as my major in college.
Oh,
interesting. Where did you go to college?
I graduated high school in 2005, and I graduated UCF in 2009.
Oh, that's right, UCF. That's right. I
Go
think I
Knights.
remember seeing. Go Knights. So.
Charge on.
they were my college had no sports team, so it was like we had to choose. Like, well, we're gonna cheer for a team. UCF's just down the road, so hey, yeah, let's go.
2017 national champions.
I was there for that. That was
excellent.
That was crazy.
Yes, it was.
That was a crazy time to be in Central Florida. Yeah, no, I love one thing I like about FIRST and just reading into it is that like it's being a software engineer. There's always people think there's a huge step to get into it. There's like, oh well, I have to be great at mathematics, or I have to be a great problem solver, or great like great in science, something like that. I'm like, it's problem solving skills. It's not something you are great at by birth, or great at by any class you take. You learn to solve problems by solving problems.
That is correct. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Nobody is born good at math. People say I'm not good at math. Well, guess what? Nobody is good at math. Nobody's born
100%.
good at math.
I'm still not good at math, but I'm still a software engineer, so you can still do it. It's definitely not a prerequisite to be in STEM at all. So the next group you talk about, Citizens for Space.
Yes.
So tell us about Citizens for Space, what they do, and what their goal is as a organization.
Sure. So Citizens for Space is a grassroots advocacy trip where every May we go to Washington, D.C., and citizens travel from all across the world to meet in Washington, D.C., with the purpose of talking to their elected officials from their state and telling them, updating them about what's going on in the space industry. So there, we have a list of talking points. I sent you a list of our 2020 flyer. We had to cancel our May 2020 trip, so we created a flyer, and it is now in the process of being sent to every congressional member. Also, we take with us college students from across the United States. Last year's trip, 2019, we had 38 university students travel with us. So that way, when we go to these congressional meetings, we actually have congressional meetings, and we have pairs of people. So you'll have people from the space industry, you'll have a college student, but then there's frequently just enthusiasts, people that just love space or have a business impacted by space that is not a part of the space industry. So what do I mean by that? For example, here at the Kennedy Space Center, we have right outside a really large tourism industry in Florida. I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's a couple of theme parks in the state. And many of people come here to go see rocket launches. And they come across the state from vacation. They plan their vacations around it. What does that impact? That impacts the restaurants. That impacts the hotels. That impacts everything that there is the impact about tourism. So when NASA is doing great and fully funded, the state is doing great and fully funded. All the small businesses around the Kennedy Space Center are doing great. The economy of the entire region is great when NASA is fully funded. So Citizens for Space was originally a partnership of economic development companies that surrounded space centers, as well as industry professionals and a couple of the companies that were, of course, working on the spacecraft. So, and that's basically been the model all the way through. So we are kind of an education service. We go and we have meetings. Sometimes the congressional member is there. Sometimes they are not. We meet with the staffer. A staffer may be a 23 to 26-year-old recent college graduate or college student, maybe, who is in charge of science-related topics or space-related topics, and their job is to talk with their member and tell them when a bill comes to the floor, yes or no, does this office support that? So it is extremely important to talk to this person to make them understand what is it that we're doing, why are we doing it, and why you should support it. So if you are a space enthusiast and you support it, the best thing that you can do is be excited about it and go talk to your elected officials who represent you. So here are our talking points. We are Citizens for Space Exploration is Team Space. We support the entire NASA portfolio and all the companies that are trying to send people off the planet Earth and go do space exploration, the Artemis program to go to the moon and eventually go to Mars and eventually go beyond. We support commercial crew. We support Orion SLS, the lunar landers, the International Space Station, and all of the amazing science that is done by NASA. Earth science is everything. So our big ask every single year is if NASA says they need funding for something, please fully fund the budget to do so.
Nice. Yeah, and that's it's so important because though we try to stay away from politics as always on this show, but it's kind of hard to when literally everything you know in space is almost funded by the government. Or
NASA is a government industry, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration of the government. NASA is like the Air Force. And so if you support the, no one ever says, you know, I feel like we should get rid of the Air Force and give all the money to this company that makes planes better than that company that makes planes. No one says that ever. Yeah. You support all of it and let Air Force get the money from the government and go hire the contractors to do the work. And there is a lot of work. There's enough space for everybody. Bill Nye recently said on a interview that he had, he's the president of the Planetary Society. Yeah. And he said, by nature, space is political, but best not partisan. We have friends on both sides of the aisle. Both sides agree that space exploration is good, and you also have opposition on both sides of the aisle. But overall, this is something that either side can fully agree on is a good idea.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think because I've never seen other than other crazy political stuff, but no one's disagreed that we shouldn't go to space. You know,
Right.
Humans are we love exploring, and there's not much left to explore here on Earth. We need to go. We need to go to the next greatest thing. We need to go beyond the moon to Mars and to Europa and Titan and whatnot. Go out there and explore. And it's great to have people, you know, kind of like fighting for you, of like your people who love doing it for you there in DC. Something that I would love to support it, but I don't know if I could sit down in a room with the congressman and be like, "Hey, you should do this."
Yes, you
Mr.
can.
Congressman.
You are the prime person that should be doing it. Absolutely. In fact, I'm recruiting you and anyone else that is passionate about space exploration as I am. By the way, my company doesn't send me to go do this. This is what I do on my own time, own dime. I use vacation to go do this because I love it so much. And to me, space is important in exploration and inspiring. And I personally someday want to see humans walking on the moon. I wasn't alive during the Apollo program. By the way, this tie, it's not just a black tie. This is my Apollo 11 tie.
Hey, very nice.
Nice.
But I wasn't
Very
alive
nice.
during the Apollo program. I am so excited about the Artemis missions and the SLS rocket to send the Orion spacecraft to send humans on Artemis 2 further from Earth than we've ever gone before, and Artemis 3 to see the next man, the first woman to walk on the moon. I want to see that personally. So that is what drives me.
And that's really cool. You know, you said that, you know, you got friends on both sides of the aisle, and regardless of what the topic is, you know, I love the fact that space is one of those things where you see people working together on both sides of the aisle. Like these days, that's very rare, much rarer than it should be. And I'm glad that space is at least one of the things they come together on, because, you know, and like you said, everybody loves it. Everybody loves seeing the stuff happen, you know, watching launches on TV. We just had a really big high profile launch. So many people were excited for it, and it was
Commercial
great.
Crew. And how many people were unaware that Commercial Crew was even a thing, that they thought NASA had closed? And you know, when you start talking to people,
so many people
outside of enthusiasts, they don't even know what's going on until it's on the launch pad. So the Commercial Crew is amazing. The International Space Station is amazing. One of our talking points that you see there on that flyer was keep the International Space Station flying. Originally, it was scheduled to come out of the sky in 2024, but how sad would it be after all this time that we spent building it? It's completed, and it provides a destination for commercial space to go to and continue doing science, and the important science that we need for long-duration missions to study the human body, to understand what happens when we send people from here to Mars. Eventually, it's going to be a 9-month journey there, 9-month journey back. And if you want to do anything, you better stay there a little bit. And if you do that, well, then the planets may be misaligned to where you can't come back immediately. We've never had people in space that long. And by the way, if you go down to the surface of it, now you're subjecting people to being in microgravity, being in 1/3 gravity, being in microgravity over the course of 2 years. What the heck is that going to do in the amazing science that they're learning on the International Space Station is an important thing for them to be doing,
as well as going to the moon as well, because that's the place where we got to learn how to do that.
Yeah,
that is the next step. In fact, I'm not sure if you guys saw Mark Kirisich's recent tweet. The Gateway is a real thing now. The forgings, the first parts for the Halo, is now real and being brought to the company to begin machining. So there are physical parts of the Gateway that are being made.
That makes me excited.
It does. It's happening.
Me too. Me too.
There's Artemis gets me excited. Sending people back to the moon gets me excited. But there's nothing that gets me more excited. Being like, we're going to the moon. Like we're not.
We are going.
We're not going and come back. We're like going and staying.
We're going to stay. Yes.
Yeah, and it's not just a paper theory, because I tell people, we're going to go to the moon someday, and they go, "Boy, I sure hope I'm alive when that happens." I'm like, you know what? I hope you are too, because it's 2024.
Yes.
Yes.
Not that long away. We're very close.
Yes.
It's not some sci-fi future. We are going. We're going to stay, and it's coming up soon. Artemis 1 parts are already complete. Artemis 2 is in work. The Kennedy Space Center Twitter recently tweeted a video at NASA Kennedy of the Artemis 2 crew module being put into the clean room. And what they're doing there is they're doing propulsion and environmental control life support welding at the Kennedy Space Center right now for Artemis 2, the spacecraft that humans will be riding on to go to the moon. So it's real. They're doing work on it, and they are like
Daryl's so excited down there. He's dancing.
I am so excited. I mean, look, I'm sporting the new shirt I bought at the Kennedy Space Center the other day, and Seth and I have gone back and forth about worm and meatball. See, I'm not anti-worm. I prefer meatball.
Whatever. Say it next time when we're talking about worm.
This is also the shirt. On the back of it, it's the let me spin around a little bit. It's the
Launch America on the back.
Shirt.
Yeah.
Good. And I don't know if you saw my tweet that I put out. I think it was like yesterday or something like that. When I was at the store, myself and Zach Hall was with me. We were at the store and we were just looking around at stuff and whatnot. And a guy picks up the shirt. He's like, "Oh, cool! It's got that on it." It turns around. He's like, "Ew!" But it's got that on it. Puts it back. I did one of those things where I just like looked at him the whole time, walked over. Picked it up. This is mine.
I'll love you.
I asserted dominance on that purchase. Just
Target definitely. Were you at Target or were you at Walmart over there? Where you at? Where were you at?
at
KSC.
Yeah, at KSC.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I bought 4 of them. Myself, family. Yeah, I've got it.
I stopped by Target the other day and I found two nice. They have so much NASA stuff at Target. I love Target. Just keep up whatever you're doing with the NASA branded shirts because they're great.
I need to get over there. I also need to get over to, of all places, like I am not the type of person to shop here, but H&M, like one of those like popular trendy clothing stores, which is not my cup of tea usually. Apparently their lineup of NASA gear is extensive.
Well, and I
was blown away. And there's people actually out there wearing the stuff now. Like they're, but I heard somebody say once, somebody else said to him, "Oh, cool shirt. Like it's one of the ones like from H&M. I guess it was one of those, but it had NASA on it." He's like, "Thanks." It's like, what's with the look? Like,
it's NASA. Space.
Okay,
like
no,
NASA.
and then
we like NASA.
Yeah, we like NASA. But the guy said, "I don't know what NASA is."
Just bought. Okay. Hey,
but the thing is,
you know what? Maybe now he has an opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
This could be a learning experience for that person.
Exactly.
Not the one I would have picked, but okay.
Yeah. I would have liked you if you learned it in school, but all right, there we go. You're learning.
Things like that, like learning opportunities, getting to, educating the public on just any of this kind of stuff, whether it's rocketry or Comet Neowise was a great opportunity. Like I taught a bunch of people all kinds of stuff. Like I just took them on a tour of the sky. I'm like, yeah, there's Jupiter, Saturn, over there's Mars, and coming up on the horizon right now, that's Venus. They're blown away. Like, wait, those are planets? What? They were amazed, and they're like, I'm gonna go look into this stuff more. That's awesome that you have this thing where you're like trying to get all kinds of people involved, and then bringing it to elected officials to say,
yes.
See, the public's getting more interested. Let's make some more stuff happen. And
those
awesome.
College students I told you about?
Mm-hmm.
Full expense paid trip to Washington, D.C.
Wow.
Plane ticket, including the hotel. We pay the meals. Full expense paid for those students to be able to come, because those are they're not randomly picked college students. They are frequently students that have internships at a NASA center or a company, one of the contractors, NASA contractors, or they're at their university doing research funded with NASA grants.
Man.
So, for example, you can imagine every single NASA center, and the fact that, if we were to go to just by ourselves to Washington, D.C., then you'll have a whole lot of people from Florida. You'll have a whole lot of people from Texas. You'll have Mississippi. Anywhere that there is a center, you'll have people going. Well, what about places like North Dakota? What about places like Connecticut? Places that the congressman, congresswoman, senator may not think about NASA very frequently. So I had a student from the University of North Dakota in my group with me. So I serve as the other category. I could go with the Florida delegation, of course. That's where I'm from. I could talk to my elected official. However, I'm in the other category. So our job as the other category is to go talk to as many of the rest of the delegation as possible with our college students and go tell them about what is going on in your state, because the SLS rocket, the Orion spacecraft, the other spacecraft, commercial crew, you have suppliers across the United States. The mission to Mars goes through your state. Not sure if you're aware of it or not. And the colleges, universities in your state is doing significant research. Not sure if you're aware of it. Back to the student I was talking about. Two students were in my group. One was from Oklahoma. One was from North Dakota. Let's stick with North Dakota for a moment. The University of North Dakota has Mars habitat prototypes. They're doing research on how to build Mars and Moon prototypes for habitats for people to live on those off the world. I didn't know that till I met the kid. If I didn't know it,
yeah, I had no idea. That's awesome.
So if there's not a NASA center, NASA wants to make sure that the universities get a piece of the pie. That part of the money goes that of the NASA budget is part of education, does research grants in some of these other states. So that student was able to talk very fluently about the amazing research that's happening in the Dakotas and his region around the Dakotas, where you normally wouldn't be thinking, South Dakota, NASA. Not the first thing that pops into my mind. I don't know. Right. Oklahoma, by the way, is surprisingly a pretty key state when you think about NASA space exploration now, and Oklahoma has an amazing aerospace history. Wiley Post going back many years of state history for aviation. Fast forward to today, think about how many Oklahomans are now involved in the decisions of what happens with NASA's budget.
You have one big guy.
Yeah. There you go. That's kind of one of the things I'm alluding to, Mr. Jim Bridenstine, former congressman, but also Kendra Horn is the representative from Oklahoma that is chairing the subcommittee for the House for science, space. Oh man, I just forgot the name of the subcommittee, but she is the chair of the subcommittee that helps decide what is the path. And if that person is not supportive of what the rest of NASA and Jim Bridenstine and the direction that we're trying to go, then you got some trouble with the funding that might be coming to NASA, which would then impact the companies, which would then impact the tourism, which would then impact all the sites. So it is important to have somebody from those states go and talk to your elected official. Otherwise, it'd be really hard to get a meeting with that elected official. If I tried to go and talk just as somebody that, by the way, I'm originally from Oklahoma, but if I weren't, I was from somebody, I had a student with me from Oklahoma City. But I'm not, otherwise, they'd say, why would I want to meet with this person? So he brings people from their state. So again, I'm not sure how far your all's podcasts reach, but if you do not have a space center near you, man, I'd love for you to come with me to Washington, D.C. and we do some training the night before to go over our talking points, go over a meeting, and you don't have to know everything. We just need you to tell your story. And that's what we train the college students to do. What is your story? You are an intern at NASA. You're from North Dakota. How did that happen and why?
Yeah, I grew up in Wisconsin, and I don't even think I think there's some research going on at the University of Wisconsin funded by was it NASA Armstrong, which is nearby. I think it's the nearest center to Wisconsin. That's in Ohio, right? Indiana.
Yes.
Yeah. I think there's some funding, and they work with them. But other than that, it was nothing. No one knows about. No one really knows. No one really cares. I luckily grew up with my mom that was into space, and I would turn on NASA TV on my TV every so often, and just to watch the views from the Space Center, and that was pretty much all I did. My brother would come on, turn on Sports Center. He's like, "Why just look at pictures of the Earth?" And I'm like, "Because it's cool."
Oh man, you missed out, because I used to get woken up for shuttle launches, or allowed to stay up late for launches and landings and things like that. Even one time my parents kept me home from school for a launch, so they knew how much I loved it. And life steered me other ways, but here I'm back into it, and I couldn't be happier. Be happier. And I love sharing it with everybody too. I know I've definitely piqued a few more interests with all the stuff I've been sharing lately, and that's the goal. Get everybody excited about it, and let's all go.
Dude, not only have I been following you on Twitter, I clicked the little bell, and I can only say that about 4 people. So I've got the bell because I was interested in Pegasus coming to Florida. I was interested. I got to see American and Termite, the tugboats, go by down the Indian River, and I didn't end up getting to see the Pegasus this time. However, I very much appreciate all the tracking that you did.
Well, awesome.
So because it's important, man. It's cool. It's cool to see hardware coming here. It means it's real. It's not a paper rocket. It's not a theory of something we may do. It is real hardware that is arriving, about to getting itself ready to launch.
And like I've always said, you know, NASA Mishu, SLS, and anything related to it, it's a matter of hometown pride. You know, I've grown up. I remember driving over that bridge and seeing the previous barges that used to be there, and you know, it's no VAB, but we've still got our own big building you can see clear across town, and I couldn't be prouder. So
absolutely,
I'm all about doing that.
The cafeteria at MAF is amazing, by the way. They have red beans and rice every Monday, and we don't have that here, but it is really good.
At Kennedy, you have Subway and Sonny's.
That's correct.
I've been in there once for a NASA social. I'm like, they have a Sonny's and a Subway?
Wait, what's Sonny's?
It's a barbecue
place.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's I know.
Okay. It's not the best barbecue in the world, but it gets the job done.
Well, I tell you what, they're doing things right at that Mishu cafeteria, because red beans and rice should only be on Mondays.
That's right.
That's how it's done down here. Red beans and rice on Mondays.
Yeah, I fly in either early Monday morning or get there Sunday night so I don't miss it.
You're a smart man.
every week, just I gotta get my red beans and rice.
Yep. Telling you, man, it's great stuff. Great stuff.
So I have an idea. What do you guys think about hosting this webcast from Washington, D.C. next May?
Next May? Right? Let me look at my imaginary watch.
That's
a year away. I don't
I'm down. That would be great.
I'm so down. We hosted a live show this last, when was it, Thursday? Yeah. Thursday afternoon from a hotel room, and had better internet than me, so I'm sure we can go through with a live cast from a hotel room in DC.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You guys will have some pretty awesome special guests, I would imagine.
I'm sure we can definitely figure something out.
Oh yes,
definitely, 100%.
So, by the way, I should probably mention for anyone watching that heard about any of this stuff, I mentioned how to get involved with FIRST, how to get involved with Citizens for Space. We have a website, www.citizensforspace.org. Go there, you can read the about, you can read the reports from previous trips. We take inventory, we do surveys from each session, each congressional meeting. Everyone fills out surveys, and we actually are tracking the results years to year, and Citizens for Space has been around since 1992. So positive uptick, seriously, since Bridenstine took over, man. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's been much more awareness, much more support recently, and it's been exciting to see you go back to a meeting and how excited the staffers are about talking with you. You know, I'm sure they have many meetings per day where they're not excited to talk to the person on the other side of the table, but space exploration, they look forward to that meeting. Yeah. Anyway, click on the contact us and then ask for some more information, especially if you are in the industry, if you're not in the industry, if you're just an enthusiast, if you own a business that is somehow impacted by the industry, just come. If you live in a state that doesn't have a NASA center, absolutely. If you are a college student, we mainly there's no set rules here, and it's not like we can bring 100 people. Last year the number was 38, and there's a limited amount of funds where how much we can sponsor students to come. Like I mentioned before, it's often interns or people doing student research. It's also frequently juniors or seniors at college, or master's students, postgraduate, doctoral students, postgraduate work students, the people that are very well into almost becoming part of the industry that very well know their path forward and are able to talk about their path behind them. People that are very well spoken, and often people that somebody in the organization. We last year, I'm trying to remember, we had 93 travelers last year and 38 students. So yeah, this isn't like a small group. We had over 300 meetings last May.
That's crazy.
Oh man, you know what? Now that I said that, I just want to make sure I've actually got the Citizens for Space pulled up here.
And I do I have links to Citizens for Space as well as FIRST Robotics down in the description below for anyone who wants to check that out. They're in the description. So
fantastic. Yeah, so that's right. 38 students. Yeah, 391 congressional visits last May.
Wow.
So
a whole lot of meetings.
This is if you'll be in very good company, and there's by no means are we going to send you in there by yourself to talk all about what NASA's doing. You'll be with an industry professional, and you just have to share your story and tell them why it's important to you.
I'm sure Daryl can go testify in front of the subcommittee. He'll be fine.
Yeah, sure.
Daryl will be fine.
I'll be fine.
Give him a booster seat like Mark Zuckerberg. He'll be fine.
You'll be talking to people younger than you two. It's usually like one or two staffers, and they're both younger than you.
That's great.
I am the age of a staffer. I am 23, so.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'll be talking to people my own age.
You'll be talking.
I am older than the staffers.
Yeah, Daryl's.
I am as well. I am as well. I am 12 years into my career. Before I worked in the industry, I actually worked at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex as a tour guide.
That's
Camp Kennedy Space Center.
We need to talk about that. Before the show, we were talking about that is both of our retirement plans, and I am so excited.
Yeah, man, I'm going to be one of the old guys driving the bus. Back in my day, I was talking to Congress telling about how we wanted to go to the moon.
Yeah. What do you mean you wanted to go to the moon? Like, yeah, no, we're on the moon now because of this guy. I always like whenever they do the Rocket Garden tour. I'm sitting back listening. I'm like, I could totally do this still better.
Oh yeah.
I could totally do it better. I'm sure this person has years of experience, but I could totally do it better.
You know what's okay? So I've given that tour many times, and by the way, if you guys ever had to come to the visitor complex, I'll meet you out there, and I'll give you my own personal tour, and you can give me tips.
Okay, I don't know if I can give you tips, but I know I'm sure you're an expert in that.
So I've given there's one time, multiple times, where you have somebody that's in the crowd, and they're clearly elderly gentleman, elderly lady, and you just go, I'm going to talk to these people about the 1960s space race. And that person lived that experience and watched it live. I wasn't born yet. And there's one time I'm not sure if you guys are aware of who Dr. Woody Flowers is. He just actually recently passed away, but he was an MIT professor. And amazing inspiration to myself as well as many people in the FIRST Robotics competition, one of the founders of the FIRST Robotics competition. And I actually was giving a tour. I was asked to give a tour to winners of the Woody Flowers Award from the championship event. They all came down, and I was unaware, but Woody Flowers joined them and asked me to give a rocket garden tour to this amazing group of people, none of them in the space industry, but Dr. Woody Flowers, who was an MIT professor for many, many years. And I was just going, Doctor, correct me. By all means, I won't be offended. If you hear me say anything you disagree with, please let me know. I am here to learn as well as here to teach.
Oh yes.
How did he say you did?
He loved it, man. It actually pains me a little bit to think about it because it's the last time I got to see the guy, but he was very excited, and I was very excited to talk to him about it and, have him know my name.
I love that Rocket Garden with the S1 there, and then the future Delta 2 is going in there because we were there and they were on construction of it, the area.
Construction's going on right now. I'm, again, not Delaware North employee, don't work at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex, but I do go by frequently. A lot of construction going on next to the Rocket Garden right now. They're building a future exhibit for all this new space stuff.
Just can't wait. Yeah. I'm so excited.
Oh, me too, man.
It's one of those things whenever, I make the trip and whenever Seth makes the trip, you always got to go.
Did you guys see the Orion spacecraft that's there? Were you able to go? You
Wait,
did.
The real Orion spacecraft or the replica
Yes.
they have? Okay.
Real.
Did not get to see the real one. No.
Nobody knows it's there. That's what the new building's going to be for.
Oh, okay. Oh.
But it's inside the IMAX theater.
Oh yeah, that one. Okay.
Maybe I did not know.
Exploration Flight Test 1, it flew 10 times further away than the space station. And right next to it is a model of the CST-100. Right next to it is the real SpaceX Dragon, the first one that went to the space station.
Yep.
Okay.
I did pass by there the second day that I went. I went 2 days in a row because why not?
Absolutely.
Went to go see Atlantis twice.
Yeah, now that I know my annual pass still works somehow. As I swear I got it for my birthday last year, and it should have been voided, but it says it's good till November. So I just got I've been getting free months like crazy from them. I don't know why, but I'm taking it. So hopefully they're not listening and taking it away from me. But
no, that's a real thing. In fact, I think they're doing if you buy one day now, you'll get another year in 2021, or get another day in 2021.
Interesting.
Because right now they don't have the buses running, so you can still go to the visitor complex, but you can't get on the bus, so you're not getting the full experience. So they're trying to do things to make up for that, as you'd imagine. And I don't know all the details on that, but
yeah,
I wish
it is a real shame. I miss being able to go, just take an hour and a half to stroll all the way down from one end of the other of the Saturn V.
That was my favorite, the pre-show for the Saturn V. That one gets me I always get I wear an Apple Watch, and I always get a heart attack warning type deal whenever because my heart rate's too high. I'm like, we've detected a high heart rate and you're not exercising. I'm like, relax, I understand. There's a little there's a simulated launch happening behind me, and it's amazing.
No, Atlantis' intro gets me.
Atlantis gets me every time though. The ending gets me every time.
I will say I don't do the Atlantis intro every time, but it still gets me every time when I do it.
You know what you guys need to do? You guys need to have a Rudd enthusiast overnight adventure. Are you guys aware of overnight adventures?
I've looked into where you can rent out the Atlantis, right? And
yeah.
You can sleep. You can kind of spend
they would
the
do
night
scout groups and things like that would just sleep underneath Atlantis.
Or the Saturn V, either one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was one of the things I did in college. I had multiple nights where I worked from I think 6 p.m. in the evening on a weekday, slept overnight underneath the Saturn V, did all the things with the kids, woke up in the morning, waved goodbye to all the guests, and then drove myself and sat in class. That's how I paid for my meals and books in college. That was my...
That's living the dream,
nice.
though.
Let's leave it. That is nice. Yeah, that is a lot of fun. But,
yeah.
That was back when gas was $4 a gallon. So going from Kennedy Space Center to UCF, my first hour of work was paying for the gas just to get there.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yep. That's rough. But no, that's definitely fun. No, I've looked into those, and I go to Yuri's Night every night, and those are always fun to do.
Yes, I do as well.
I have not had the privilege yet.
Dude, it's just like adult dream come true. I want to party. I want to drink underneath the Atlantis. Yes.
That's dangerous though.
It
That's
can
really
be
dangerous.
You got lasers and music and nerds.
Yes.
And alcohol.
It's a dance party where you don't feel like the nerdiest guy there.
Yes, that's very true. I don't feel awkward not dancing because I'm with a whole bunch of other people who don't want to dance on the dance floor because we're all too awkward to do it.
That's what we're gonna do next year. Is we're gonna have the Ruds dance competition, an award for
whatever it is, you'll win.
Whatever it is, the most awkward.
I can't do it. Whatever it is, you'll win.
So costume parties are interesting for me because I have to act like a professional because there's other professionals, coworkers that are going to be at this event. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, as you can imagine, I am a very enthusiastic guy and I want to show off my nerd side. So I was trying to go, how do I dress up as a costume, but also look professional? So you know what I went with?
What?
Doctor Who tweed jacket.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Nice. See, another way you can get around is because the space. I met the last year at Yuri's Night. I'm friends with someone who works for SpaceX, and he just goes "Oh, there's the launch director," and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's go talk to him." I'm like, "Wait, what?" We're talking, and then he just walks right up, and it's the launch director and 2 other SpaceX employees dressed up as the Falcon Heavy. Like that's
That's great.
they're dressing up like they are at work. That's completely fine. Like,
Wait, Barry, let me back you up a sec. You said you dressed up as the Doctor?
I
Which
dressed
Doctor
up as-
specifically?
Matt Smith.
Okay, nice. Because I have a full-on David Tennant costume too. I've worn it to Comic Cons a bunch of times and everything. I mean, I've got the glasses, I got the trench coat and everything, the chucks.
I had the red
I love
hat. I now wear fezzes. Fezzes are cool.
I'm not a dress up person. I tried this year. We had like a live stream for it all, and I dressed up as nitrogen tetroxide monomethyl hydrazine.
Okay, all right.
I was just full dark red from head to toe, and I had just the "hello, my name is," and then the chemical equation on it. And I thought it was so smart. No one got it.
No,
He
no
even
one
went
got
all out on like nice shoes for it and
Dude,
everything.
I got like red Oxfords, like so hard, and I got like at the news, like the newsboy cap or whatever. Dude, I looked slick. No one got it.
You did.
I had this with suspenders, a tweed coat, and a fez, and I was done.
Nice.
Bow ties are cool.
Bow ties are cool, and bow tie, of course.
They will never not be. Thanks to
Bow
him.
ties are never cool. Oh, sorry, are always never not be cool. Sorry.
Never. Whoa.
Never
Whoa.
not.
Whoa.
Wait. Never not be. Wait. They're always cool. They're always cool.
Always,
Okay.
always cool.
I'm not
Be
even
careful
drinking.
there, buddy.
I'm not even drinking tonight. What's happening?
The Orion program manager always wears a bow tie. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that one.
Really?
Mike Hawes, yeah. If you guys ever get to read an article or see anything by Mike Hawes from the Orion program, always wears a bow tie. It's one of his staples.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
I love people who rock bow ties no matter what, not just the Doctor, just like in anything. Like if you're wearing a bow tie, I kind of take you more seriously.
One thing I can always respect is Buzz Aldrin's style. He'll wear a bow tie and a normal tie at the same time, and but he nails it. It's like you can't, like that goes against all fashion rules, but you just nailed it.
He will try to break every fashion rule he can at once and pulls it off because he can, because he's Buzz Aldrin, and it's great.
Zach calls out in the chat. He'll be a boat. He could be a wayward boat.
Oh, actually, we haven't mentioned any kind of things in chat lately, but earlier when you were talking about people from or what states provide for NASA and things like that, Zach Hall said Oklahoma provides administrators.
Yeah,
Yep.
That is correct. That is a thing. And the multiple other companies. If you guys go check out, I'm trying to remember the Suppliers Conference website. There's a map of, you can go see all of the subcontractors in every state, and I believe there's 5 in Oklahoma.
Interesting.
Doing work where that's going to go to either the SLS rocket or part of the Artemis program. So you can go see all of the subcontractors across the United States.
Gotcha. Yeah, and one thing's like, I don't know how far I said I don't know how far our podcast reached. I'm like, well, we do have Harry Stranger in Australia, so
I'm not sure. Yeah, let me think about that one.
He can go to
Congress.
He can go to his was it Parliament in Australia? I think it's a Parliament. Maybe it's a Congress. I'm not sure.
He can go to his government, his elected officials.
He can be you in Australia. There we go.
I actually remember Jim Bernstein tweeting something about the Australia partnering with us for future Artemis missions. I'm trying to remember what it was. Regardless, man.
Don't they have a Deep Space Network there as well?
Yep, Canberra.
Yeah. The only one that's in the southern hemisphere, correct? So Spain, California, and then Australia.
I think you're right. For the Deep Space Network, yes.
The Deep Space Network, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Any last questions for you, Daryl, that you want to ask our lovely guest?
I'm good. This has been so much fun. It really has.
Invite me back. I hope to have some more interesting things to talk to you guys in the future. And by the way, I'm going to include in the chat here this website I just told you about, and I believe I'm going to click on information documents, then give you the map. I'm going to send you this map.
Awesome. Yeah, no, definitely.
There
We'd
it
definitely
is.
love to have you back on, especially if we do a show over there in May, next May. So
yes,
definitely gotta have you back
that
on.
would be I would love that. If you come in May, you're not going to want me. There'll be much bigger wigs than my wig there.
No,
Of course.
you got us started. We would love to have you back on, especially up there.
Fantastic. Well, hey, how about this? How about you guys come to one of the robotics competitions?
100%.
Definitely.
Yes, that would be
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can talk. We can go talk to some students and talk space all at the same time. That'd be great.
great. Totally.
Yes, absolutely.
So
I would love to see the crazy things that these kids make. It sounds incredible.
Yeah,
Anything-
you'll get to hear my voice over the PA system doing the play-by-play, and every
That's
so
it.
often during breaks we do something called the roller coaster. I'm not
Oh,
going to tell
yes.
you what it is. You have to come.
Oh. Seth, you know already what it is?
I'm pretty sure I know what it is. I know John and Crystal have gone to the one up there near you, so I know them.
Yes, they're awesome photographers. I
Yes.
really appreciate them coming. They went to the Space Coast League Championship at Haggerty High School last January. That was a great event. Loved having them both come.
I'm also excited. Like you've been so energetic on our show. I can only imagine you as an excited announcer. Yes.
All right.
I try to channel my inner NBA Jam. He's on fire. Boom shakalaka.
Yes.
It's been a while
Oh,
since we thought
man.
about NBA Jam. All right.
Barry,
Anything
you
else
were great.
you want to touch on there, Barry, before we go?
No, I really appreciate you guys having me. I'm looking forward to coming back.
Awesome. All right, we're looking forward to back having you. Thank you, everyone. We had Kyle, Duncan, Zach, Harry, all the regular
Kyle, be
people.
safe on that drive home, buddy. He's heading back from Pensacola right now.
Oh,
man.
nice. We've had all the regulars out here today, and everyone else coming by. Thank you so much for the view. Thank you, Barry, for coming out, of course. And everyone listening, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, review, star, whatever it is on your platform. Helps us out greatly. And other than that, we'll see you guys all next week.
Later.
Cool. Yeah, and I'm also a photographer, by the way. So if you do need someone for Palm Beach, I would 100% come.